لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله الله بكرة وأصيلا لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, هنيئا لكم بعيد الأضحى المبارك. Congratulations to all of you in this occasion of Eid al-Adha al-Mubarak. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar kabira, walhamdulillahi kathira, wa subhanallahi bukratan wa asila. Indeed, Allah is greater. Allah is greater than anything. Allah is greater than the pandemic. Allah is greater than pain. Allah is greater than sadness. Allah is greater than all kinds of horrible things that human beings are doing. We are to remember all these beautiful concepts, all these beautiful lessons from this occasion of Eid al-Adha. I'm sure, my dear brothers and sisters, you have been celebrating Eid al-Adha all your lives. Many of you. How many times we have stopped for a moment to ask ourselves this question: what is this so deep and fundamental in this occasion that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is having hundreds of millions of Muslims celebrating Eid al-Adha? Is it because it has to do with Hajj? But most of the people are not in Hajj. Only few people are in Hajj, yet the rest of hundreds of millions are celebrating Eid al-Adha. What are we celebrating in Eid al-Adha? What are we remembering in Eid al-Adha? Is it the slaughtering of the lamb, or the goat, or the cow, or the camel? Is it eating the meat? What is it? There must be something fundamental in this occasion that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making it as a sunnah mu'akkada. إحياء لذكرى إبراهيم الخليل. It is to remember our great father Ibrahim al-Khalil alayhi salam and his beautiful family. So let us take some moments and learn some lessons. And I'm going to reflect only on 3 of them, yet there are many. The first one, that beautiful conversation that took place between this great father, Ibrahim alayhi salam, and that beautiful son, is teaching us something very important. قال رب هب لي من الصالحين. Ibrahim alayhi salam reached an old age and he did not have children, and he wanted to have a son. So he turned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I'm sure for many years, and he was asking Allah, هب لي من الصالحين. So stop for a point over here for a moment. What was he asking? He's asking Allah to give him not just any boy, not just any son, of the righteous. So that is one point. And I'm trying to go quickly for the sake of time. So he is asking of the righteous. What are we asking when we ask Allah to give us children? We would like to have children who are successful. Successful in dunya. How many of us remember righteousness? So he asked Allah to give him of the righteous. هب لي من الصالحين. فبشرناه بغلام حليم. And Allah gave him the glad tidings when the time comes. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's only a matter of kun fayakun. Be and it is. So when the time comes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, we gave him the glad tidings that you are going to have a ghulam who is halim. Halim. Not just any ghulam, not just any boy, a forbearance with hilm, which is a rare quality. Not just sabur, not just tanur, halim. Much higher level than being patient, than being accepting. It's much more than that. Halim, forbearance. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered the request of Ibrahim alayhi salam. But then what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even after having this only son, this beautiful son, after so much dua, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want to test Ibrahim alayhi salam. And not only Ibrahim alayhi salam, but even the son. And look to that beautiful conversation. قال يا بني إني أرى في المنام أني أذبحك. Oh my dear son, I see in my vision that I to offer you for sacrifice. It's very tough, isn't it? Very tough. What a sacrifice. What a test. And what is the response from this boy? قال يا أبت افعل ما تؤمر ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصابرين. Oh my dear father, do what you are ordered to do. You will find me by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala among the patient. Beautiful answer. And then what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَلَمَّا أَسْلَمَا وَتَلَّهُ لِلْجَبِينِ. When both of them submitted, please put as many lines as you can under the word submitted. Submission. That's all what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was looking for. He knows these are the kind of people who will submit. And Allah put them a test and they submitted. فَلَمَّا أَسْلَمَا. Both of them submitted. Then there is no need for sacrifice. There is no need for sacrifice once the submission is done. Because that is the purpose of the whole test, is to submit. So my dear brothers and sisters, are we submitting? Are we submitting? We call ourselves Muslims, but how much we are submitting? That is the first message, and that is the first point. Submit, and everything will be fine. Submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah will turn everything around in this ummah. This ummah will be again the leader. Submit, and many of these problems will be solved. But we are struggling because we don't submit. We are struggling within to submit. But we are not submitting yet. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, from the beginning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, Aslim. قال أسلمت لله رب العالمين. Submit, surrender. And he said, I surrender myself to the Lord of the worlds. Not just to anyone. He did not surrender to the idols. He did not surrender to the batil. He did not surrender to the dhulm. He did not surrender to the falsehood. He surrendered to Allah, to Al-Haq. Lillahi Rabbil Alameen. That is what is requested from us. That is what is meant for us. That is what is wanted for us to do. to Lillahi Rabbil Alameen. So that is the first point. What is the second one? The second one, my dear brothers and sisters, many of us, maybe all of you, I don't know, you are going to do a sacrifice. And that is the sunnah of the Eid. The sunnah of Eid al-Adha is to do a sacrifice. وهي سنة مؤكدة على القادر عليها. To the one who is able to do so, it is sunnah mu'akkada to slaughter a lamb or a goat, or to share a cow or a camel. The point over here is, in doing this sunnah, is it really just eating the meat? Is it only to shed the blood of this animal? That's what people do mechanically, out of tradition. In the whole Muslim world today, many people are slaughtering and offering and eating meat, which is, alhamdulillah, it's good. But what is really the wisdom? What is really the essence behind it? Let's see what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, لن ينال الله لحومها ولا دماؤها ولكن يناله التقوى منكم. What does Allah want from us in this? Is it really the blood? Is it really the meat? Allah told us textually, clearly, that what Allah wants from us is at-taqwa. So therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, we should really be conscious as we go and sacrifice the animal. Before we do sacrifice the animal, let's make sure we sacrifice our nafs. Let's make sure I sacrifice my nafs. I slaughter my nafs for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If I don't, then my nafs is dictating to me to do that which is disobedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My nafs is dictating to me to deviate from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to follow my desires and my whims rather than submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, if I don't sacrifice my nafs, what is the use of sacrificing this animal? It is just meat. So the purpose behind that symbolic sacrifice is to sacrifice our nafs and to make sure that our nafs is in its proper place as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted it. It is not riding me, rather I am in control of it. Otherwise, when the nafs is loose, when the nafs is the leader, therefore, look what's happening in the world today. In small groups, people are fighting. And hasad and ghira and kibr, and in large groups, people are fighting. Nations are fighting. Blood is being shed. And competition for the sake of power. Shaitan is making use of this nafs, so this nafs is destroying us. So then, my dear brothers, as we go and sacrifice or intend to sacrifice the animal, please remember, let's sacrifice our nafs first. So then this nafs is not really making waswasa to me to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the third point then? The third message. The third message, my dear brothers and sisters, one of the slogans that the Muslims are repeating today, and they will keep repeating it for 4 days, today and 3 days more, Ayyam al-Tashriq, is al-Takbir wal-Tahleel wal-Tahmeed. Everywhere, especially after Salawat today, we are to sit down and make a lot of takbir. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar. You see, when I came in, I heard very shy voices. If it were not for the microphone, nobody will hear you from out there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to have takbir so loud, so it can shake the walls. That's what the Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim used to do. They used to go to the market and they used to make a lot of takbir so they can be heard from far. Why we are shy making takbir? We are afraid of what? We are shy of what? This is takbir. When we are angry, we shout at our spouses, at our children, at each other. We shout. But when it is takbir, we don't shout. We make takbir as loud as possible. These are days of takbir. But what does it mean? Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, among the many adhkar, He wanted us to say takbir? Why? You see, I really would like us to contemplate on this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us not to say dhikr by our lips, but rather make sure that dhikr really motivates us to become reality. Reality that Allah is Akbar. Allah is greater than anything and everything. You see, because the humanity these days reached to a level where Allah to most or to many people does not exist. And Allah is not in control. Allah is not in control in many, many lives of this humanity today. Individually and collectively. We became so arrogant. Humanity became so arrogant. So Allah wants to teach us that Allah is Akbar. And look what's happening. Look what's happening out of His wisdom. Where everybody is controlled and everybody is home. Billions of people. In one instant, they are all under control. And you have no choice. So who is Al-Akbar? Who is Al-Akbar? And therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, for you and me, as a human being who is a believer, alhamdulillah, let us remember when we say, Allah is Akbar, Allah is greater than me. Allah is greater than my desires. Allah is greater than my shahawat. Allah is greater than my hopes. Allah is greater than my sadness if I am sad. Allah is greater than my anger if I am angry. And therefore, for all of us, Allah is greater. And if we make this so efficient in our lives, and we remember Allah is greater in everything, we are going to stop so many wrong things that we are doing. Because every time I intend to do something wrong, I remember that Allah is greater and He can crush me anytime. Therefore, I will be very careful how to treat others, how to deal with others, how to deal with my family, with my children, how to deal with my community members, how to deal with the rest of the people, how to deal with the whole creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because then I know all of them, we are all created. We are all created. We are all servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then, hopefully, when I am really aware that Allah is greater, then I will be careful. And when that energy is really made to be useful, that Allahu Akbar will be actually exploding this settled energy in each one of us to change me and to change my surrounding and to change the world to that which is best. So it's not just a lip service. And we say Allahu Akbar. It's much more than that. Allahu Akbar. To be really in you. And you will see the energy that comes out. This spiritual energy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put in each one of us. But we choose to marginalize it. We choose to suppress it and allow the energy of the nafs at the expense of the energy of the ruh. Allahu Akbar will make use of the energy of the ruh and suppress the energy of the nafs. And then that's what happens then. You will see the world in me and around me changing. Wallahi al-Azim. That is exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. So therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, these are my 3 messages. I hope you don't forget them. I hope today, when it is Salatul Dhuhr or Salatul Jumu'ah, which one you would like to attend, you remember this message. If you forget it, please contact us. I will give it to you again. If you are here for Khutbah al-Jumu'ah, inshallah, maybe I will remind you of these 3 messages. But please, don't forget these 3 messages. For actually, I hope this will really stay with us. And hopefully, if we allow them, they will change our lives as a community. You need me and I need you. Wallahi al-Azim, I love you. I love all of you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I love for you what I love for myself. And therefore, we need to change, my dear brothers and sisters. We need to allow this energy within us to drive us towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, this is my message. 3 messages. Number 1, the message of at-taslim. Aslamtu lillahi rabbil alameen. The second one is the message of not to allow the nafs to ride us. The third message is Allahu Akbar. And what does it mean to you and to me? My dear brothers and sisters, very quickly, few other information. Today is Jumu'ah. Therefore, the Sunnah, according to the teaching of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, those who attend Salatul Eid, they don't have to come back for Salatul Jumu'ah, however they will pray Dhuhr. But if you choose to come for Salatul Jumu'ah, inshallah there will be Salatul Jumu'ah over here. Number 2, I talked already about Udhiyah, about the sacrifice. If you did not plan for your sacrifice, still you have time. You have today, you have 3 days more to plan for a sacrifice. But I really think it's a good idea to have a sacrifice. Especially for a minority like us, living far away from the Muslim world. For our own children and our own families. They need to learn, they need to grow up seeing this practice. Otherwise, you just wait. Another generation and it will be forgotten. I remember one day, many years ago, I met somebody, it was in the middle of Ramadan. We were fasting. And the conversation was, Ramadan, how is all? He said, Ramadan already started. Can you believe it? In the middle of Ramadan, and the Muslim doesn't know that Ramadan started. So, when these celebrations are forgotten, then the Hijri calendar is forgotten. Then all things that are related to these Muslim festivals and Muslim acts of worship that are related to time, they will be forgotten. So you see now the importance of these ayat, of these festivals. They are part of the system to make sure that our personality, our identity as Muslims is kept strong. The last point I would like to remind you is don't forget to keep practicing the rules. The rules to be safe and to be healthy. Make sure you wear the masks, make sure you keep the social distance, and after this is over, there will be no hugging. You know, we are tempted, because it's Eid. We didn't see each other for a long time. We are tempted to hug each other. But please, follow the rules for our own safety. And alhamdulillah, so far, in our community and the Muslims in the area, alhamdulillah, we have been following the rules, and alhamdulillah, we have been safe. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us safe, and all the ummah safe, and all humanity. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lift this pandemic and give us health and give us safety. And at the end, Eid Mubarak wa kullu amin wa antum bi khair. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all good days, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us all kind of sacrifice, all kind of good deeds. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring the Ummah of Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. Inshallah, al-yuman wal-khair wal-barakah. Wassalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala al-nabi. يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واجعلنا هداة المهتدين. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم انصر الإسلام وأعز المسلمين. اللهم انصر الإسلام وأعز المسلمين. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. آمين ثم آمين. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد